Next Eastern Conference play-in matchup, the 9-10, of course, Chicago Bulls taking on the Toronto Raptors. Raptors at home here. Raptors open up a 4.5-point favorite with a total of 217. We're up to 5 right now. I think that makes sense. The real move has been on the total, down all the way to 214.5, which I think makes a ton of sense for both of these teams. Toronto specifically, I think their switch-em-all style, essentially, outside of Pirtle, is really going to work well in this matchup, and it did. Look, they have played 3 games only, and 2 of them took place in November. But if you look at the offensive rating for Chicago in those 3 games, a 108.4, that switching bothers them. That length is going to bother them. And you have that revamped defensive backcourt of Patrick Beverley and Alex Caruso. This seems like it's going to be a little bit of a slugfest here.
Yeah, completely agree. This is, I think that number is pretty spot on for the total. That was the first thing that I went to look at right away. 214. I think it's really hard to say go under that, but man, I would still be under a pass for me there. And as from a side perspective, it's Toronto or pass for me here, but man, I don't really have a strong conviction on this game too. I think this is a Toronto team that's looked very up and down basically throughout the entirety of the season. And in Chicago, you could put both say the same thing about both teams. Actually, in the past month or so, been playing better ball than they've played most of the season long. But I think there's players that you would say you trust the output from a DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine maybe a little bit more than what you're getting on the Raptors side. But I think the Raptors have more, the more of the slashers and more creative ways, I think, to score. And like, again, we're already talking about the defenses and what they can do. It would be Raptors or pass for me here, but man, this is a game. These Eastern Conference play-in games, I think they're lined pretty correctly. Both of them, I don't have much interest in betting, and frankly, JVT, I think that whoever wins these and captures these final 2 spots, they're it's being the what is it? The
lambs to the slaughter,
lamb to the slaughterhouse with the Bucks and Celtics. So
2 numbers for you here on this matchup. The last 2. First off, over their last 14 games, the Toronto Raptors 9-5 straight up, 4th best offensive rating in non-garbage time at 121, and the 3rd best net rating in that span too, at a plus 7.9. And the newly revamped backcourt, Alex Caruso, Patrick Beverley, Chicago Bulls have outscored opponents by 8.8 points per 100 possessions with those 2 on the floor together, a 105.8 defensive rating. So those 2 things are kind of going to head here, but I would say that when you're looking at which one would come out on top, I think it's, to your point, the ability of Toronto. They get a little bit deeper, adding Pirtle into the starting lineup. Now you have guys like Gary Trent Jr. coming off of the bench and help you out. Same thing with Precious Achiuwa. They're a little bit deeper. I think that Toronto's going to move on here. Didn't have a bet, but definitely going to watch and see what happens. They see some in-game opportunities. Maybe if it's a hot start, bet the in-game under, but didn't have a pre-flop conviction.
Yep, I like that.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.